Well, hello and welcome to News Hour on Voice of the People TV. I am Vivian Oguche. Before we begin, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. First, the headlines. NEC reinstates Anyanwu. Damagun urges promotion of PDP's strength and values. Also, 2027 APC running mate talks insulting to Shettima. That's coming from Udenta. 14 FG processes 14,000 new visa applications in 6 weeks. Also, deputy governors decry insecurity and poor investment at borders. And Ondo confirms petition seeking coroner's inquest. EFCC arrests 74 internet fraud suspects in Abuja. And on the foreign scene, Europe's scathing hit triggers record alerts in France. In business news, Jega 6 reforms and flees $1.5 billion annual dairy imports. In sports news, Nigeria qualifies for beach volleyball world tourney. And in entertainment news, Rema headlines Madison Square Garden concert. Now the news in detail. The 100th National Executive Committee meeting of the People's Democratic Party has reinstated Senator Samuel Anyanwu as the party's national secretary. And speaking to journalists after the NEC meeting in Abuja, the PDP acting national chairman Umar Damagun announced that Anyanwu has been officially reinstated. He further revealed that the 101st NEC meeting has been scheduled for July 23 to finalize arrangements for the upcoming national convention. Meanwhile, Damagun has called on members to prioritize the party's values and collective interest and seize actions capable of undermining its unity and credibility. He emphasized the need for discipline, unity, and loyalty to the party, especially as it battles internal disputes and external pressure, if members truly love the party and have not been contracted to destroy it. Damagun acknowledged the recent wave of internal tension and division triggered by an unnamed contentious issue that he said led to a painful decision. However, he assured that the matter had been thoroughly deliberated and would be addressed publicly at the right time. Meanwhile, Damagun clarified that the meeting was not an extended caucus session, but a formal NEC meeting convened in accordance with the party's constitution and aimed at ensuring regulatory compliance. Meanwhile, piqued by the blockade of access to the People's Democratic Party National Secretariat in Abuja by security operatives, the PDP Board of Trustees has described the action as an act of harassment and a deliberate attempt to sabotage its internal reconciliation. The action reportedly forced the relocation of the meeting to the Shehu Musaya Adwa Center as members could not access the hall. Jointly addressing the media before the meeting, the BOT chairman, Senator Adolphus Wabara, and Secretary, Senator Ahmed McCarthy, expressed deep frustration at the development while emphasizing the urgency of unity within the party. Condemning the interference as posing a serious threat to Nigeria's democracy, Wabara said it undermines the rights of opposition parties to operate freely. However, the Federal Capital Territory Police Command has refuted the alleged sealing of the Secretariat as false, misleading, and not reflective of the true situation on ground. In a statement by the police public relations officer, Josephine Adi, it explained that police officers were merely deployed to the area to maintain law and order and ensure public safety in line with their constitutional responsibilities. In another development, the All Progressives Congress has fixed July 24 for its National Executive Committee meeting in Abuja. According to the Deputy National Secretary, Festus Fonta, Fonta told newsmen in Abuja after a closed-door meeting of the APC National Working Committee that the meeting followed the resignation of Abdullahi Ganduje as National Chairman on Friday. He explained that the endorsement of the acting National Chairman, Ali Dalori, must receive the blessing of the NEC, adding that if during the NEC meeting a new chairman is nominated, the leadership would also accept it and wait for the convention to take a final position. Fonta added that the notice for the NEC meeting had been forwarded to the Independent National Electoral Commission just as the NWC discussed preparations for the upcoming by-elections in states with legislative vacancies. Meanwhile, the founding National Secretary of the Alliance for Democracy, Professor Udenta, has described recent talks about President Bola Tinubu's potential running mate for the 2027 election as a direct humiliation of Vice President Kashim Shettima. Criticizing the All Progressives Congress for its handling of the situation, Udenta told a local television program that the fact that APC governors and other key party figures have already endorsed Tinubu for a second term while remaining silent on Shettima's role signaled a deliberate plan within the party. Udenta further faulted the party's claim that the choice of a running mate would be decided after its convention, stating that such decision should not be deferred or treated lightly, especially with a sitting vice president already in place. And ahead the Senate's zonal public hearings in the constitutional amendment process, the proposal for the creation of Anioma State has reportedly received support from 85 senators in the 10th National Assembly. According to an available document, the senators endorsed the initiative following a letter personally addressed to each of them by Senator Ned Nwoko, who represents Delta North Senatorial District. The proposed state to be carved out of Delta State is captured under the Senate Bill 481, which is currently under legislative consideration as part of the broader constitutional review. Nwoko, who is spearheading the campaign, argued that the creation of Anioma State is rooted in the principles of equity, fair representation, and justice, noting that the Southeast remains the only geopolitical zone with 5 states, while others have 6 or 7. In his letter dated May 27, 2025, and addressed to the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and all senators, Nwoko appealed to his colleagues to join in correcting what he described as a long-standing national imbalance. Meanwhile, the Ndigbo Progressives Traditional Rulers Forum has also endorsed the proposal. Well, away from that story, the deputy governors from border states have expressed worries over the persistent insecurity and poor investment, as well as inadequate support for cross-border development initiatives. Speaking at the 2025 African Border Day celebration in Abuja, the deputy governor of Sokoto State and chairman of the Niger International Border Platform, Idris Gobir, lamented Nigeria's failure to adequately secure its borders, particularly in the north. He further condemned the country's inability to prevent arms and militants from entering through its borders, stating that the opportunity Nigeria created enables people to come in with arms and ammunition through the borderlines. Calling on the National Boundary Commission to act, Gobir argued that Nigeria should not compromise its security because of border relations. He noted that armed groups live along the Nigerian side of the border, but do not do so on the Niger Republic side. On their part, however, the Embassy Director General Adamu Adaji said the Commission is rather building border community resilience for economic development through cross-border cooperation. According to Adaji, Nigeria's security and economic prosperity are directly interconnected with close neighbors. He added that the Commission is committed to effective border governance efforts through effectively demarcating and delimiting all boundaries to prevent conflicts and disputes. Now, the African Union Commission has emphasized the place of Nigeria's National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in the continent's formulation of a new action plan on drug control and crime prevention. Speaking during an assessment visit to the NDLEA National Headquarters in Abuja, the AU said such action plan would not be complete without the NDLEA's input, given its central role in law enforcement in the region. The 3-member AU Commission delegation, led by the head of Social Welfare, Drug Control and Crime Prevention, Dr. Olubusayo Akinola, said the visit was to evaluate the African Union Plan of Action on Drug Control and Crime Prevention from 2019 to 2025. Akinola said the Commission was in the process of re-evaluating and starting another continental action plan that will take the EU from 2026 to 2030 and has identified a few countries to understand how this action plan was actually implemented in the member states. According to him, the Commission understands the NDLEA's work very well and believes that the formulation of the new action plan will not be finalized until it has received inputs from the agency, since it is basically at the forefront in law enforcement on the entire continent. Now, the federal government says its newly launched electronic visa system, which became operational on the 1st of May, has recorded significant success. In the first 6 weeks alone, the system processed over 14,000 visa applications, the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, revealed during a stakeholder sensitization workshop on key immigration reforms in Abuja. He disclosed that 2 major digital platforms, the electronic combined expatriate residence permit and aliens card, as well as the electronic temporary work permit, are set to go live within the coming week. According to him, the federal government decided to come up with the e-visa system, as it is not just a migration management document, but also an enhancer of economic growth. The minister explained that when somebody needs a visa to Nigeria and all he is looking for is who knows the minister or the Controller General of Immigration, the country's governance has failed. He stressed that the system must be made easy through defined strategy while not compromising national security. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 2027 re-election ambition has gained further momentum following the support from key All Progressives Congress APC stakeholders in the South-South region. At a meeting hosted in Benin City by Edo State Governor Monday Opello, governors, ministers and party leaders from the region rallied behind the Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, saying it has people-focused reforms. VOP TV correspondent Rhoda Johnny has details.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 2027 re-election bid has received a major endorsement from APC governors and party leaders in the South-South region. The declaration came during an interactive stakeholders meeting in Benin City, hosted by Edo State Governor Senator Monday Opello. Speakers at the event praised the president's bold reforms like the student loan scheme and tax relief for low-income earners as key milestones of the renewed hope agenda.
A new Edo has risen. We now have a flyover that is almost in completion. A new Edo has risen. You now have schools returning back to the way Comrade Adams Oshomole left them. A new Edo has risen. We now have women getting soft loans to do their private businesses.
Of which we are not making promises and we are not doing groundbreakings. We are rather commissioning projects as part of the dividends of renewed hope. For us, commissioning these projects is our campaign for renewed hope across the 9 states in the Niger Delta.
Governor Opello described Tinubu as a capacity working president and pledged to deliver 2.5 million votes from Edo State in 2027, citing massive road construction and development as evidence of federal support.
It's strange. We have a capacity working president. He's making the money available for us. He has embarked on critical reforms for this country, Nigeria. Things that you think are difficult, he takes decision and later play out to be the best decision ever that will ever rescue this country. No wonder I was telling last time that I was going to deliver 2.5 million votes to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come 2027.
Among those present were Senator Adams Oshomole, Mr. Abubakar Momo, Governor Basi Otu of Cross River, and NDDC boss, Dr. Samuel Ogboko, who all passed a vote of confidence in President Tinubu and Governor Okpebholo. In Benin, Brother Johnny, UOP TV News.
Thank you. And joining us virtually to look at these stories is the Assistant General Secretary, Guild of Public Affairs Analysts of Nigeria and publisher of Front Page News, Oshomole Inuma. I understand that he is not in at the moment, but as soon as he comes on board, we will get down to business. In the meantime, let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Welcome back, everyone. Justice Mohammed Umar of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has fixed July 2022 to hear the fresh bail application by the man described as terrorist negotiator Tukur Mamu. This came as Mamu's counsel, Johnson Usman, sought an adjournment to enable him study and respond appropriately to the counter-affidavit that was just served on him by the federal government's lawyer, David Kaswe. Mamu, in the motion on notice dated May 30, sought two orders, including an order admitting him to bail pending trial on the grounds of ill health. Alternatively, he sought an order directing the federal government to take him to a hospital to perform a surgical procedure as recommended by both the Egyptian and Nigerian doctors. However, a counter-affidavit deposed to by a litigation clerk at the Department of Public Prosecutions, Federal Ministry of Justice, Michael Akawu, averred that Mamu had previously applied for bail and the application was duly considered and denied by the court. Moving on now to other stories. The Ondo State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Olukayode Ajulo, has confirmed receipt of petitions demanding a formal coroner's inquest into the death of former Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. In a statement, Ajulo declared that the public has every right under the coroner's law of Ondo State to demand clarity in cases where foul play is suspected or questions linger. According to him, the Ministry of Justice has received multiple petitions, including from professional bodies and residents of the late governor's hometown, urging his office to investigate what they described as troubling inconsistencies surrounding Akeredolu's death. He noted that while emotions are running high, no individual will be presumed guilty, and neither will the process be derailed by sentiment or political interference. Ajulo clarified that decisions such as inspecting the governor's remains or summoning individuals fall squarely under the discretion of the coroner judge, adding that the law will take its due course. Meanwhile, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says its operatives have arrested 74 suspected internet fraudsters in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The suspects were reportedly apprehended on Monday at a hotel in Nyanya, a suburb of the capital city, following credible intelligence linking them to internet-related crimes. According to a statement by the EFCC spokesperson, Dele Oyewole, items recovered during the operation included 86 mobile phones, a rifle pistol, and 3 motorcycles. Oyewole added that the suspects would be arraigned upon the conclusion of ongoing investigations. Well, moving on now to other stories. No fewer than 400 primary and secondary school teachers in Yenegua, Bayelsa State, have begun capacity building training. The training is being organized by the Bayelsa Education Development Trust Fund in partnership with the British Council. Speaking at the opening ceremony in Yenegua, the EDTF Executive Secretary, Dr. Alice Atul, said the training was in collaboration with the British Council and Teachers Training, Certification and Registration Board. Atul said the EDTF was supporting the TTCRB, which has responsibility to select the 400 teachers and school administrators from the state's public school to develop their capacity. She further explained that the British Council offered to train 1,000 teachers in Bayelsa, out of which 200 beneficiaries have concluded the 5-day training in the first batch. According to her, through this collaboration, the partners will improve teaching methodologies, enhance leadership skills, and foster a culture of innovation in the state's teachers and school leaders. Atul added that the impact of the partnership will be the significant improvement in learning outcomes, increased teacher confidence, and enhanced school leadership, among others. Well, in Zamfara State, a leader of the All Progressives Congress, Dr. Sani Shinkafi, has dismissed claims by opposition politicians that Governor Dauda Lawal secured a 34 billion naira loan to fund developmental projects. Shinkafi described the allegation as a figment of the opposition's imagination, stating that it was only aimed at distracting the governor from fulfilling his transformation of the state. He commended the governor's achievements in infrastructure, healthcare, education, transportation, and security, describing them as massive, impressive, and unprecedented. According to him, Gusau now looks like a state capital, a departure from its rural features since it was created by General Ibrahim Babangida's military regime in October 1996. He added that the construction and rehabilitation of township roads, along with the Gusau International Cargo Airport, which is nearing completion, have turned Zamfara from an agricultural to a commercial hub of the northwest region in barely 2 years of Laos administration. And now South-South governors, led by the chairman of the Progressives Governors Forum, Senator Hope Uzodinma, visited Benin City over the weekend for a strategic meeting hosted by Edo State Governor Monday Opeolo. After a closed-door session at the government house, the governors paid a courtesy visit to the Oba of Benin and commended Governor Opeolo's leadership and urged the delegation to prioritize unity and the well-being of the region. VOP-TV correspondent Ruda Jani again has the report.
South-South governors were in Benin City over the weekend for a high-level strategic meeting hosted by the Edo State Governor, Senator Monday Opeolo. The governors arrived at the Edo State Government House, where they held a brief closed-door session on issues of regional cooperation and party unity.
In attendance were governors of the All Progressive Congress. The meeting created a platform to harmonize development strategies, reinforce party cohesion, and reaffirm their unwavering resolve to sustain progressive governance ideas that prioritize people-centered development, institutional accountability, and intergovernmental collaboration.
After the meeting, the delegation proceeded to the palace of His Royal Majesty, Oba of Benin, on a courtesy visit, Speaking on behalf of the visiting governors, Imo State Governor and Chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Senator Hope Uzodinma thanked the Oba for his consistent support and royal blessings for the peace and progress of the nation.
Has a vision, will look at people and the name to start on. By what we have been, we have no doubt in our mind that he is not disappointed. We think that all things being equal, he will not be the right. In the global trade, reduce poverty, improve the infrastructure, and make it what he used to do once again.
In his response, the Oba of Benin, His Royal Majesty Ewere II, described Governor Okpebholo as a friendly and purposeful leader committed to the development of Edo State. The royal father also urged the visiting governors to continue working in harmony and to place the interests of their people at the heart of government.
This throne, ancient throne of Benin, is non-partisan. But here he is the governor of Edo State. He's the Akpakomiza of Edo State. So I don't even see why, because he's doing very well. He hit the ground running. Everybody would agree, including the members of the royal family here, my chiefs and everybody in Edo State. And here you all are. You are even showing the support again that you showed during the election.
In Benin, Rhoda Johnny, BOP TV News.
We'll take another break before more stories. And coming up after that, we have foreign reports, business, sports, as well as entertainment news. Stay with us.
Good morning! It's the start of a beautiful day. Well, start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered. VOP this morning, 8 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Well, welcome back, everyone. And now a record number of heat alerts are in place across France as the country and other parts of southern and eastern Europe remain in the grip of rising temperatures. Some 84 of 96 of France's mainland regions, known as departments, are currently under an orange alert, the country's second highest. France's climate minister Agnes Pannier-Runacher has called it an unprecedented situation. Heat warnings are also in place for parts of Spain, Portugal, Italy, Germany, the UK, and Balkan countries, including Croatia. Both Spain and Portugal had their hottest June days on record at the weekend. EI Granado in Andalusia saw a temperature of 46 degrees centigrade on Saturday, while 46.6 degrees centigrade was recorded in the town of Moura in central Portugal on Sunday. Many countries have emergency medical services on standby and are warning people to stay inside as much as possible. Nearly 200 schools across France have been closed or partially closed as a result of the heat wave, which has gripped parts of Europe for more than a week now, but is expected to peak midweek. And no fewer than 20 Palestinians were killed in an Israeli airstrike that hit a popular seafront cafe frequently used by activists, journalists, and local residents in western Gaza on Monday, according to medics and eyewitnesses. Rescue teams evacuated 20 bodies and dozens wounded from Al-Baka cafeteria, an outdoor venue which consisted of tents along the beach. A spokesperson for Gaza's Hamas-run civil defense told newsmen. He added that emergency crews were still searching through a deep crater left by the explosion. There was no immediate comment from the Israeli military. The attack came after Israel carried out a wave of airstrikes across the Gaza Strip overnight, triggering the mass displacement of hundreds of Palestinian families, witnesses said. Rescue teams recovered the bodies of 5 people while dozens of injured civilians were evacuated to Al-Ali Hospital in Gaza City, according to local reports. And now 2 U.S. firefighters have been killed and a third wounded after a man intentionally started a fire and began shooting at first responders in a total ambush which lasted several hours, authorities said. The gunman, who investigators said acted alone, began shooting after crews responded to a fire at Canfield Mountain, just north of Kwa d'Alin, Idaho, on Sunday afternoon. That will be Idaho on Sunday afternoon. Law enforcement officers and firefighters came under sniper fire during the incident, and a special weapons and tactics team later located a deceased male close to where the attack took place. The fire grew to 20 acres after it was first reported and continued to burn into Sunday night, Sheriff Bob Norris said. Norris said firefighters received the first report of a fire in the mountainside community at around 2021 GMT, and reports that they were being shuttered emerged about 40 minutes later. More than 300 law enforcement officers from the city, county, state and federal levels responded to the scene of the shooting, including 2 helicopters with snipers on board. Meanwhile, the Trump administration says that Harvard University violated civil rights laws over its treatment of Israeli and Jewish students, potentially further endangering its federal funding. In a letter sent to Harvard, the administration accused the university of deliberate indifference towards the concerns of Jewish students who felt threatened on campus. The move is the latest in a series of legal and financial battles between Harvard and the White House, the stakes of which have dramatically escalated over the last few months. According to the letter, failure to institute adequate changes immediately will result in the loss of all federal financial resources for Harvard. Well, let's take a look at some business news now. The chairman of the Presidential Livestock Reform Implementation Committee, Professor Atahiru Jega, has raised alarm over Nigeria's annual bill of $1.5 billion for the importation of dairy products. This amount could be redirected toward local production to stimulate rural economies, conserve foreign exchange, and reduce dependence on foreign goods, Jega said while delivering the annual Distinguished Personality Lecture at the University of Ilorin. The former INEC chairman described the staggering dairy imports as a paradox and a major economic setback for Nigeria, stating that in spite of the nation's favorable agroecologies and a large consumer market, it is still importing what it can produce. According to him, this is not only a leakage of foreign exchange, but a barrier to rural development and national self-sufficiency. Jega warned that Nigeria's dependency on imported powdered milk and cheese discourages investment in local dairy cooperatives, infrastructure, and market-oriented livestock production, which particularly puts millions of smallholder pastoralists, women and youth, at a disadvantage. As a remedy, he proposed the establishment of special livestock export zones in key cities like Kano, Jos, and Lagos, complete with halal and kosher certification centers, ECOWAS-compliant quarantine facilities, and duty-free import access. And for some sports news now, the Nigerian women beach volleyball team has qualified for the 2025 World Championship in Adelaide, Australia, after beating Egypt in the CAVB Continental Championship in Morocco. The pair of Esther Mba and Pamela Bawa beat Egypt 2-1 to finish third at the just concluded CAVB Continental Championship and book a spot in the Australia tourney built for November 14 to 23. Head coach of the team, Kayode Ajilore, said the players showed class and brilliance in delivering their jobs, adding that the result in Morocco was an indication of hard work and determination from the entire team. He acknowledged the efforts of the president, CAVB Beach Volleyball Commission, Musa Nimrod, in creating the platform for the players to excel. He further noted the support of the Sports Secretary, Nigeria Customs Service, Samuel Onikeku, describing him as the team's chief supporter who stood with them throughout the championship. And in entertainment news now, Grammy-nominated star Rema headlined Madison Square Garden in a landmark concert on Monday, dazzling fans with a collection of his hit singles. The hitmaker treated fans to a rendition of the smash hit records that have elevated him to superstar status since he broke into the mainstream in 2019. His ongoing tour comes off the back of the release of his Grammy-nominated sophomore album, which forms the major part of his setlist. At the concert, the sensational star brought out award-winning rapper Odumodu Black, with whom he performed their collaboration War Machine. And now controversial socialite Sam Larry has addressed the allegations linking him to the harassment and alleged assault of late singer Ilerioluwa Aloba, popularly known as Mohbad, claiming he never physically attacked the artist and was falsely accused. In a recent interview, Sam Larry recounted an incident that many believed sparked a rift between him and Mohbad. According to him, he only confronted the singer over an unpaid debt during a video shoot, and no physical violence occurred, despite what was seen in the viral video. Recounting the story, Larry retained his stance that he never laid a hand on the late singer that day or any other day. Recalled that in October 2023, a month after Mohbad's death, Larry and Naira Marley were arrested over allegations linking them to Mohbad's death, but were released on bail after 5 weeks in detention. Then in February 2025, a magistrate court in Lagos cleared them both of any involvement in the singer's demise. However, the court of public opinion has not refrained from the accusations linking them to the singer's death. And it's a wrap on News Hour. But before we go, though, a quick look at the headlines. We told you that NEC has reinstated Anyanwu and Damagun has urged a promotion of PDP's strength and values. Also, 2027 APC running mate talks insulting to Shettima, and that statement is coming from Udenta. The federal government processes 14,000 new visa applications in 6 weeks. Also, deputy governors decry insecurity and poor investment at borders. Ondo confirms petition seeking coroner's inquest. And EFCC arrests 74 internet fraud suspects in Abuja. On the foreign scene, Europe's scathing heat triggers record alerts in France. And business news, Jagger seeks reforms and flays $1.5 billion annual dairy imports. In sports news, Nigeria qualifies for beach volleyball world tourney. And in entertainment news, Rema headlines Madison Square Garden concert. Do also subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV, and other social media platforms we are at VOP TV Live. I am Vivian Oguche, and thank you for watching.